In this video, I'm going to take you through some of the key features that is available to you in Microsoft Fabric capacities in different capacity sizes, as well as some of the differences with the Power BI Premium capacity that you may be using. Hi, my name is Peter, and I help organizations with their data analytics and AI needs, working with customers every day. And if you like what's in this video, hit that thumbs up button down below, and be sure to subscribe for any updates to other videos that I may produce. So let's start by going to this page on Microsoft.com, and I'll put the link in the notes below. And this is a fairly good way to look at what are the key features, and there's 10 features here we'll look at, focusing on the different Fabric SKUs or options you have, but also comparing that with the premium capacity function as well. Now let's zoom into these features and take a close look at each of these one by one. So the first one here is this Power BI Autoscale. Now, in Power BI Premium, you had a certain amount of capacity, and if you needed additional compute, Microsoft introduced a feature that allowed you to burst that up, say end of month reporting, and there was a cost associated with that. Now, that was only for Power BI under these P SKUs. That's why there's a green box here on the far right. You don't have the option anymore with Fabric. That's because you do have the ability with Fabric to change the capacity at any time, take it up and take it back down yourself, manage that inside of the Azure portal. The second item here is Copilot. So this is the Copilot, particularly for Fabric. So in Power BI. So it is available for Power BI Premium capacities as well. And this is the assistant that helps with the data engineering for Fabric workloads, and particularly for Power BI report creation as well. It's available in Power BI Premium if you have that, or with a Fabric capacity of F64 or higher. So that's a certain level. At that you get Fabric Copilot. Below that, you don't get access to the Copilot functionality. I'll have another video shortly on some of the features around Copilot and explain a bit more about that. But for the purposes of this video, you only get it when you have either premium capacity or F64 or higher. And those are the equivalents that come from the changes in the licensing. Next item here is the managed private endpoints. Now, this was a really key initiative that Microsoft brought out, key feature, that allows you to manage what networks can connect to Power BI or the Fabric features. This is not a feature in Power BI, but it is one of those that is in all Fabric capacities. And that's really good. For a while, Microsoft had it for only a certain level, but any Fabric capacity can have managed private endpoints, which is a real boon for security purposes. The next feature here are the trusted workspace access. Now, and this is taking it off the Microsoft documentation, basically allows you to access firewall-enabled data lake accounts in a secure manner, so that you have a identity from the workspace that can access those accounts, and constrain then access to different networks as well. So you can sort of hone in that to just the Fabric capabilities. Again, it's part of a security enhancement, and again, it's available to all Fabric capacities, which is great to see. That wasn't always the case, but it's generally available and available for all Fabric capacities. And these are the trusted workspace access, as well as the managed private endpoints, certainly should be something as part of your design to factor in early, not something you have access to with that premium capacity as well. Now, if you are using Terraform in your environment, this fifth item here will be of interest. With Fabric, you can use Terraform to manage the configuration of your Fabric instance and objects within that. Again, only available in Fabric, not available with Power BI Premium. The sixth item here, pause and resume your capacity. because Fabric runs as an Azure service, you have the ability to start, stop, pause, resume here on the wording on the site, that capacity. Now that's if you're using pay-as-you-go. If you want to reserve an instance, then that's pre-committed. You can still, I believe you can still pause that, but you've recommitted to a certain spend. Now, if you have a multi-capacity strategy as part of your design, that gives you options and ability to scale things up, scale things down, or use capacity, say, for dev test, or particular use cases maybe for reporting at certain times of the month. It gives all flexibility versus what used to happen in a premium capacity was you just paid for a certain capacity and you used, whether you used it or not, you had no control. Whereas you do have the ability to have full control if you want that. And that ties into the next one, on-demand resizing. If you have a constraint where you need to increase a capacity, you have the ability to do that inside of the Azure portal. Whereas to do that previously with the premium capacities was quite an investment or uplift. You'd pretty much double the cost every time, and you'd have to commit to that or pay by month. So a minimum spend, even for a short time, was quite large. And that's part of the flexibility of having scalable compute with cloud, and having the Fabric experience gives you the ability to do things like that on-demand resizing as needs dictate. Now, another feature that sometimes is important is to bring your own keys for data encryption. So by default, Microsoft will manage the keys for encryption and by default encrypt your data. But if you want to bring your own keys, you have that option to do that. And that's been a feature for a long time across the capacity instances to have that flexibility. And is there in Fabric as well as in the Power BI Premium. All right. The ninth item is private links. Now, this is an ability, and it's a bit different to the managed private endpoints, but ties in around the inbound traffic to your Fabric components, and using a path that you dictate for people to access Fabric. So again, a security feature has been there with premium capacities as well, but now you've got the ability to manage that through Azure networking as well. And lastly, this is no sort of real change, but it's an important item to talk to, is this view Power BI items without a per user license. Now, this was the benefit of having a premium capacity. You didn't need to license individuals to be able to access that environment. With Fabric, there is a minimum level that provides the same capability, which is that F64 SKU number, and that means if you have that, anyone can access with your permissions to a workspace and the objects like a Power BI report. If you have a lower capacity, you get some of these other features that we've identified are available for any F-sized SKU. But you need another license, a per user license, like a Power BI Pro as an example, to access those artifacts. So knowing that, you're able to start using Fabric if you've got smaller organizations or a small team using it, without having to go to that full F64. But some of the key features that people are considering that is when you've got lots of people needing to access reporting, for example, and you want to make use of things like Copilot. So there's a quick overview of some of the key features across the Fabric capacities, and comparing that to what you may be familiar with Power BI Premium as well. Just a reminder, you can't actually, at the time of recording, which is late 2024, you can't purchase Power BI Premium anymore, but I still have customers who are wanting to do that, and they need to go on a Fabric journey or look at alternative methods with other Power BI Pro licensing, depending on their needs. So it is important to understand what features you get. If some of those features are important, particularly there's some security pieces, good to know so you can plan for that as part of your overall design and architecture. This is useful. please leave a comment below or hit the like button, and I'll be sure to see you in another video.